Welcome to day 89. This will be June 28th, and mile marker, I don't know. I'm not been too good about keeping track of that. 13 something, 1330 something, 1332, I don't know. Anyway, this is called the Secret Shelter. It isn't really officially a part of the Appalachian Trail, but this is a shelter that a man put up that thru hiked, that he made available for hikers. And he used to live on this property, and I don't know if you can see that was his residence up there. He just lived very simply, had a couple of mules, and he had he had a well, and he had water piped in here, and had electricity, and he used to offer it to hikers. The shelter is still open for people who want to stay in it, but there's no electricity or water officially here because he is now disabled and in a care facility, and he can't take care of it. I talked to some people at the ATC at Trail Magic the other day, and they said that the ATC is trying to buy the property so they can clean it up, reconnect electricity, and make it a real kind of an official shelter on the AT. It's kind of a unique piece of history, and this man lived a very unique life. I also asked the Ridge Runner yesterday if there was water on the place, and she said, well, it's not officially listed, but there is water. You just have to go in the lane and look for the old windmill and hike down to it. And she said, I'm sure there's a trail there that people have used before in the past, and you can see it. It might be kind of overgrown. Well, her statements were a little bit optimistic. I did hike down the lane, and I did find the old windmill, but it was just nothing but a patch of briars, and I had to hike in under it, and I found springs. There's a really good spring, and I even heard even a more viable running stream, but I couldn't get to it because it was so grown up, or I didn't want to get to it because it was so grown up, and I was having to walk through some kind of boggy, marshy stuff. So it proved to be quite a challenge at the end of the day to look for water. I'll show you when I get down the lane here just a little bit, kind of where I plowed down through to go get my water. And then I found the spring, and I have a little dipper that I made out of like the bottom of a water bottle, that when a water source is kind of shallow, that I can dip water out, and I forgot to bring that along, or I didn't bring it along. I don't know if forgot is the right word. And so I had to kind of dig out with my hands the dirt so I could get my bottle down in there. So I don't know if you can see this, but back there in between those two trees there is an old windmill, and you have to walk down in through this mess. You have to walk down in there past that windmill, and there are springs. So if the ATC would acquire the property, that would, and they could clean it up, that would be a nice addition. And maybe there's something I missed a little earlier up here on the trail, but I'm looking for it, and I don't see any obvious or semi-obvious paths down to that water. So there definitely is a lot of water here, and the man that owned it had a well, and when he had electricity, he pumped up from the well. But yeah, I don't see. You have to be a little adventurous to get the water on this property. So it's kind of a unique place. Yesterday when I was trying to decide where to stop, there was a really good camping option. About half a mile back, right by a stream. Beautiful trees to set up my hammock. Now here, you know what? Right here is a trail down to water, and maybe I missed this. maybe that would have been a whole lot easier than what I did. Who knows? Who knows? Oh no, that's not a trail down to water. That's the AT. So, anyway, what I was going to say is I was praying about whether I should stop, and I just felt like I should go on to the shelter. And when I got there, there was one person there. Says he's hiking the AT, but just definitely not a standard or a normal AT hiker. Appeared almost kind of a mixture of a homeless person and a backpacker. He did have a backpack, and he has been hiking the trail. So I think he really is hiking. But got to talking, and he knows he has a lot of interesting ideas, and he does know a lot about a lot of things, nutrition and some of these things. So I don't know. I don't know if it was a chance encounter. I asked him if I could pray for him this morning. He's a Armed Forces veteran. He did time in I think he said he was on submarines. So he's trying to figure out what's next in his life. So I had the opportunity to just pray for him this morning. Didn't have a lot of spiritual discussion, but at least prayed for him. Now there was a pile of bear scat full of berries. So bears are real. I'm going to be hiking through a bunch of, I don't know, it's been kind of marshy here. Some of these boardwalks to get you across some marshy places, they aren't really bad right now, but yeah, so, oh, there went a deer. I don't know if you can see two deer. So, the plan for today is to hike 1.7 miles to a road that leads into Unionville, New York. Oh, here's a swamp. See, I'll let you see this in real time too. Here's a swamp. So I'm hiking into Unionville, New York. I'm going to do a resupply for a couple of days to get me to a pickup point where Mrs. Grayson is going to meet me, and I'm going to take a 0 day. I shouldn't get too long-winded on this video. I am running sorely low on battery power. I've been out 6 days. I was able to charge a little bit yesterday, but not a lot. And so got to keep this short and sweet. But this is definitely interesting terrain here. So I'll keep you posted. I'm going to do a resupply, and then I'm going to hike like another 7 miles and make a stealth camp. You're supposed to, in New Jersey, only stay in designated camping places, but there are not very many camping places, and they're way far apart. So I'm gonna there's a stream coming up in 7 miles. It's a good water source, and from the photos in my guide, it looks like it would have a great place to hang a hammock. So that's where I'm camping tonight, and I'm a mile or so from a road. I don't think anybody's coming through checking on people and making sure that they're always camping in the right place, because you can't. They don't provide places. And then the next day after that, it's kind of the same deal. There are a bunch of little road crossings and close to a bunch of little towns, and there are absolutely no shelters or camping places. I think I figured something out another 10 miles on, or 10 or 12, and so just gonna have to do what I have to do. There's a slight chance of rain today. Well, they said today, slight chance of rain before 8 a.m. and it's after 8 a.m. It's after 8 a.m. so I think I'm just going to have a nice overcast day. It's going to start heating up, a little bit more chance of rain, but 2 more days and I'll take a 0, and I'm looking forward to that. My feet have been tired, and I think my body's tired too. That'll be 8 days out without any breaks. I didn't sleep so good last night in that shelter. My ground setup isn't the most comfortable. It's just real lightweight, so it's for emergency use, and for whatever reason, it just I just didn't sleep very good. So it always helps to get a good night's sleep. I'm hoping tonight with a hammock. It says, okay, there, turn here. I'm trying to figure, the trail just came out to the road, and it looks like I take left, and I don't see any obvious signs of it going back into the woods. So I guess I'll walk up here till I see, oh yeah, I see blazes on the telephone poles. So anyway, that's what my day looks like. Yesterday had a lot of interesting surprises. I am trying to continue to learn to let go of expectations and just let the day come to me, whatever that is. Today, I don't know what that is. I'm going to Hurler's General Store, trying to rustle up enough grub for a couple of days more on the trail. And hopefully while I'm there, I can charge batteries again, get a little bit more battery power under my belt, and then take off back into the woods. Next goal is making it out of New Jersey. I won't make it out of New Jersey by the time Mrs. Grayson comes. I'm trying to find a good place, a good jumping off point that is not too hard to get to, because now this is getting pretty rural, and so getting a good pickup place. So like on Monday I may have to cut my day short, just because to make a good meeting place I might have to do like an 8-mile day instead of, I'd rather do 10 or 12, or maybe more if I feel like it. And so just all the things you have to think of. So I'm taking you along with me. Thank you for bearing with all my ramblings. There's a bullfrog just jumped into the swamp. And it looks like we go back into the woods up here on the left in a little bit. But this is definitely new territory. We're kind of traversing across, I don't know if you call it a valley, but some lowlands to get back to, should kind of get back to the mountains. Today I have a climb up out of the town, and then it goes back down, and it kind of does this up and down for a little while, and eventually we get to New York. It's definitely interesting territory, so keep taking you with me. Day 89. Day 89. Can you see this big rock flipped up? Been seeing a number of these along the trail, and I'm quite sure it is bears that are flipping these up and looking for grubs under the rocks. Some of the rocks I've seen have been large enough that it'd be hard for the average sized person like me to move them. So bears are real. I just haven't seen any. Unfortunately, I haven't seen any eating my food. But there's evidence of them around, and New Jersey is known for its bears. So if I stealth camp tonight, I'm going to have to try to do a bear hang just to protect my food. So I ended up being in Unionville a little longer than I planned. I was planning to come in and maybe spend 2 hours, but ended up posted up a couple of videos, charged batteries, made some phone calls, and it's 12:30 and I need to get back on trail. So I went from being 66 degrees and overcast to being 70, 80 degrees and sunny, which actually it's nice to see sun, so I think the weather's going to be okay. I don't think it's going to get a whole lot hotter than this. Don't think the terrain is too terribly difficult, so do have a hike out. Town is always uphill, so going uphill out of Unionville. Bought 2 days worth of food. Got a sandwich in there as well. I think I might have said that earlier. And we're just going to see what the day brings. I'm hoping today is not such a hard day. Doctored on my one foot. Now my walking out, the other foot's hurting a little bit. I might have to stop here after a bit. Put some padding on it. And doctor on it a little bit too. It wasn't hurting this morning. I don't know why it all of a sudden is. It's just weird. But I'll keep taking you with me. Wrap up of day 89. So I basically stuck to plan. I'm camped by a stream here. About nine and a half trail miles today, plus the walk into town and back and taking care of things. And just decided to stop here. There were some really easy miles today, and then there was a climb out that was kind of hard, and then there was a second climb that was just really rocky and gnarly and really boogered with my feet again. And then I had a downhill, and by the time I was done with that, I just felt like my feet were toast and I was ready to be off of them. Today was 80 couple degrees, 84 degrees, 82 degrees. I don't know. It wasn't extraordinarily hot, but don't seem to be able to, that seems to take some starch out of me. So there wasn't any good stopping point beyond this to push the miles a little bit more, or I could have maybe done another mile or two. But it is what it is. So another 10 in the books, basically. Good day. Did a resupply for 2 days for Sunday and Monday. And hopefully I didn't overbuy this time, so I'm not carrying too much stuff. It's just an art. You have to kind of learn. Somebody said don't resupply when you're hungry, because then you end up buying too much food. So it's a dance between having too much and not enough. We're using more calories out here most of the time than what we're taking in. I stopped at the little store and got a BLT. I know that probably isn't the highest calorie thing, but it's just sounded really good. The vegetables tasted really good when I'm on a diet that has almost no vegetables. And met a couple other thru hikers. A bunch of people stopped at that store because it was so handy. And I hiked out ahead of them, and then they all passed me. They were all younger, 20s, 30s, 20s, early 30s, I would guess. And but it did me good to see them stop a couple of times too when they were climbing out, because it was hard. So another 10 in the books. I keep trying to baby my feet a little bit here. I was having a little trouble with my left foot rubbing, and I took the new insole out that came with the shoe and put the old one from my old shoes back in, and that helped a lot, although it doesn't help with some of the cushioning on the ball of my foot, etc. So Mrs. Grayson has a set of aftermarket insoles I'm going to try to see if that doesn't help. And you know, honestly, not having too many rocks would help, but I know there's a really gnarly section coming up. I don't know if it's, I think it's Monday, that it even says in the book, this looks pretty benign, but it's really tough because it's real steep up and down. So my guess is it's just not very much elevation gain or loss. It's just really steep rock scrambling for a couple of miles up and down and up and down and up and down. So I'm not looking forward to that really. I've kind of had my fill of rock scrambling, but I better get used to it because that's a lot of what New England is too. So it is what it is. So yeah, thoughts from the day. I guess I saw everything today, from rocky climbs to swamps to whatever. I saw a little garter snake on the trail today. Um, I talked to a couple that were out in the wildlife refuge bird watching, and we had a nice conversation. And yeah, that's it. I'm really excited to be back in the hammock tonight to sleep after 2 nights in shelters. Just didn't sleep that well. And I also put up my tarp because it's acting like it wants to rain sometime here in the night. The wind's blowing and it's clouded up, and so just want to be prepared. I don't think it's supposed to be a deluge or anything, but there could be a thunderstorm or a rain shower, and so got everything covered up and protected, and think I'm ready to go. I think I've got all my camp chores done. I've gotten water. I've made my supper. Tonight's supper was, drum roll please, mashed potatoes and Spam. So you can buy these Spam singles. I just cut it up in chunks, boiled it in the water, mixed in the mashed potatoes. I had 2 Spam singles, 230 calories a piece. That's 460. The potatoes were 600 calories, so there I got 1,060. I ate 2 bars. 2 of my bars that I didn't eat during the day, that's another 500. So I've gotten 1,600 calories in for a meal tonight. Plus I had a meal at the deli and breakfast, and I did eat some bars on the trail too. So I'm trying to plug more calories. During my resupply, they didn't have a single protein bar, so I didn't. Been trying to put at least 1 protein bar in a day to help boost my protein intake, but there was no such luck. I guess the bacon on my BLT was helped with a little protein, and the Spam helped with some protein tonight. And sometimes I have mixed nuts, but I don't even have those now with the town resupply. So it is what it is. You just got to do what you got to do. It's nice to only have 2 days of food in the pack instead of last time I started from town it was 5. I thought it was 5 days. It actually ended up being I nursed it along to 6 days. So anyway, the life and times of an Appalachian Trail thru hiker. I talked to another thru hiker today, and I asked him the question everybody asked me. I said, what do you like most about the trail? And he said, pretty quickly, he said, well, it's the people. He said, it's not the hiking, it's the people, it's the community that's on the trail. And that's very true. So with that, this is Grayson signing off on day 89.